I've been thinking about making a video on plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures for a while now. I know there's a huge industry of people analyzing celebrities' faces to determine what procedures they've done, but I didn't grasp the scale of it. So I did the research, I watched the content, and I noticed something quite strange. Let me show you.
Sharon Osbourne called her facelift horrendous. Jane Fonda quit them entirely.
At 41, Scarlett Johansson's face shows how cosmetic intervention can preserve facial shape.
Ivanka Trump's transformation may be one of the most expensive and fascinating evolutions in modern celebrity history.
The same type of content again and again. Plastic surgeons who comment on celebrities' plastic surgery with their medical attire on, looking like they just came out of an operation for an emergency report on Emma Stone's new face. I thought that was quite interesting and funny. Social media has the power of creating stereotypical niche. We can also call them content echo chambers, and the discovery of a new niche always feels weirdly interesting to me. The plastic surgery, cosmetic procedure commentary sphere is female-dominated, yet male plastic surgeons have established themselves as experts of the genre, providing the correct vocab and frameworks so that the rest of us can indulge in criticism armed with scientific weapons. Botox, fillers, facelift, brow lift, neck lift, rhinoplasty. I find this both fascinating and scary, and I wanted to take the time today to explore all the aspects of this phenomenon. The industry, the discourse on natural beauty, and the copy and paste lurk, and the implications for us as a society. So let's jump right into it. My name's Alice. Welcome back to my channel. This video is made possible thanks to the support of my patrons. On Patrons you can find exclusive videos, monthly favorites, reaction videos, a Discord chat, and much more. Patreon is the best way to support the work me and my team do, so if you find my content valuable, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Okay, let's go now. The trend of male plastic surgeons or doctors taking over social media is revealing of how the industry keeps growing. I don't remember a time when plastic surgery wasn't a topic of discussion, but I think it's important to remember that there was a pre-plastic surgery era. You probably know this already, but plastic surgery's expansion was initially boosted during the 20th century world wars. That's when plastic surgery techniques became more complex. The goal was to repair the faces of soldiers who had been injured at war. Like most technologies developed during wartime, plastic surgery eventually became accessible to a bigger market. Governments pour money into research and development during wartime to develop technologies that individuals and companies can then monetize. Other examples of this are computers, drones, AI, etc., etc. Plastic surgery is now mostly known and talked about for its cosmetic use rather than its medical use, even though the distinction between the two can sometimes be blurry and is definitely up for debate, but we'll get to that later. The boom of cosmetic procedures is coherent with the growth of the beauty industry since the 1980s due to huge marketing campaigns targeting specifically women. In her essay, Backlash, journalist Suzanne Faludi explained that since the rise of the women's movement in the 1970s, cosmetics and fragrance companies had suffered a decade of flat to declining sales. The feminist movement challenged the idea that women should obsess over their appearance and invest a lot of money into it. As a result, more and more women gave up on expensive hair salons. Faludi reports that in 1981, Revlon's earnings fell for the first time since 1968. By the following year, the company's profits had plunged a record 40%. Not great. That's around the time when the beauty and cosmetic industry took a turn and adopted a more health-based approach. Quote, beauty became medicalized as its lab-coded army of promoters and real doctors prescribes physician-endorsed potions, injections for the skin, chemical treatments for the hair, plastic surgery for virtually every inch of the torso, end quote. Similarly, medical practitioners embarked on this new trend. Dermatologists switched from treating teen pimples to curing adult female wrinkles. Gynecologists and obstetricians, frustrated with a sluggish birth rate, started offering liposuction services. Hospitals opened cosmetic surgery divisions. Money was flowing again, but women's health was often disregarded in the process. Women became the guinea pigs of this new industry, with risk ranging from inflammation and allergies to literal death. The alliance between the medical industry and beauty is now stronger than ever. Look at this CNN article, for example. It explains the growing popularity of Ozempic, a weight loss drug, and how this has led to the Ozempic face phenomenon, meaning that a lot of Ozempic patients experienced drastic weight loss that ultimately transformed their face. Because of that, it was recorded that 2 in 5 patients were considering undergoing cosmetic surgery, and 1 in 5 already had. That's according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. So try to picture this. You're going through this process through Ozempic. You're coming out of this with probably a lot less money in your bank account, and then you have to pay thousands of dollars for a procedure, whether it's fillers or an actual facelift. You see, this is how the medical field partners with the beauty industry, and this is such a profitable industry. The plastic surgeons and doctors you see online that we've talked about benefit from the Ozempic phenomenon. Some of them used to work in hospitals and turned to cosmetic surgery after seeing how much money they could make. I judged them a little bit for doing that, but also condemned the society we live in for creating such incentive in the first place. Now, on top of the Ozempic phase, most of these online practitioners use celebrities' faux pas and successes to promote what they call preventive work, meaning getting procedures done early to avoid having to do more drastic work later.
At 57, Kylie Minogue represents one of the most consistent examples of natural facial rejuvenation in the public eye. Early images show favourable baseline anatomy, balanced structure, and proportionate features.
In this video, for example, Kylie Minogue is presented as a successful use of procedures. In the description, the doctor writes, quote, "The best work does not announce itself," implying that you better take care of this early. Other celebrities like Madonna are used as examples of what you should not do. It implies that facial rejuvenation, as he calls it, should be taken into consideration early in the aging process. The result is that in recent years, we've seen increasingly younger women book facelifts for that exact reason. It is still rare, but what is less rare is the use of fillers, which are meant to bring back volume to areas of the face that have lost it. Fillers are often minimal, low risk, and reversible, but they are also a great way to get you into the loop. It's the same thing as what we talked about in my previous video on the fashion industry, where high-end brands reach new demographics by selling cheaper products to get you involved with their brand in the hope of turning you into a returning customer. Plastic surgeon creators, cosmetic doctors do the same thing by using social media strategically. They comment on celebrities' faces and extreme cases of individuals going too far with procedures for the views, and then introduce content on their own clients and their own practice. People in those videos are average people like you and me, and this acts as a reminder that they are not just content creators, they are also practitioners, and that you can book an appointment with them. Most plastic surgery discourse online used to be very, very nasty. Now things have changed a little bit. I feel like people are a bit more aware of how mean that can be, but they make sure that they preface their criticism with a "she was beautiful as she was," or "it's her choice," or "she's still beautiful, but..." So yeah, ultimately the judgment of other women is still there. We have just reframed this as care. We criticize because we care about them and about the impact this has on young women and girls. And while I know that some people do really care, I feel like a lot of us use care as a way to keep indulging in judging other women. I view it as cynicism in disguise. And I call it cynicism because the truth is that a lot of us wish we could have these procedures, but just can't afford them. In her best-selling feminist essay titled King Kong Theory, lesbian writer Virginie Despentes starts by acknowledging that she speaks from the perspective of the ugly. And she says the following, quote, "I am writing from here as one of the leftovers, women who are scary, pitiful ones, women who don't turn men on, those with flabby skin and a face full of wrinkles, those who dream of plastic surgery, of liposuction, of having their nose broken so it can be reset, but can't afford it," end quote. She describes herself as the King Kong girl. She's not the beautiful damsel in distress Hollywood actress, she's King Kong. In fact, most women don't fit beauty standards and don't have the resources to change that. So we're left observing the beauty industry from afar, finding comfort in the videos of male experts analyzing 30-plus-year-old female celebrity faces. We understand that even women with natural beauty also hate themselves. In fact, I've seen this argument of natural beauties destroying their face with cosmetic procedures come up a lot in my research for this video. Some go as far as declaring that natural beauty is dead or that Hollywood has changed forever. Kate Winslet, for example, recently described plastic surgery or cosmetic procedures in Hollywood as terrifying. I understand her frustration as a woman who is refusing to indulge in those things, but it's also important to note that seeing 30-plus-year-old Hollywood actresses in leading roles without being reduced to their age is very new. Aging for actresses has long meant and continues to mean career death. That's why I watched the new Devil Wears Prada trailer in awe. Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep look the same. Our nostalgic selves are pleased, but this wouldn't have been possible without the use of plastic surgery or cosmetic procedure. The pressure put on actresses to remain young-looking or fixed in time is insane. Kate Winslet is now embracing life behind the camera as a director, which gives her more freedom to speak on those pressures and how destructive they can be. In interviews, she also said that, quote, young women have no concept of what being beautiful actually is. End quote. This is not a new take. With the growth of the beauty industry, the popularity of filters, more and more people wonder if young women have lost their sense of what natural beauty means. And to be fair with you, I'm a young woman and I'm not sure what natural beauty means, but not in a way Winslet means it. You see, I don't think natural beauty has a clear definition, and I'm convinced that it's more often than not used to refer to Western beauty standards. Going back to what Virginie Despentes said in King Kong Theory, there is no natural beauty for the ugly. There's no clean girl aesthetic, flawless look for the ugly. From the point of view of those our society deems ugly, natural beauty doesn't make sense because it is not natural, it's determined. You see, you often hear that beauty is subjective, but I want to add that beauty is constructed, socially constructed. You see, the argument I've seen a lot about the copy and paste face spreading among female celebrities only points to the fact that beauty is constructed in a set of features that many women want to achieve. Hollywood did not need the introduction of plastic surgery for the copy and paste face to appear. Female actresses are selected for their talent, for sure, but also for their conformity to a set of beauty standards, to the point where some of them look strangely similar. Also, keep in mind that Hollywood is a nepotism machine, so people do have copy and paste faces because they are literally related. You see, as we deconstruct natural beauty, we start to understand its political nature. The phrase natural beauty naturalizes differences that aren't necessarily natural. What I mean by this is that we use nature to differentiate between the beautiful and the ugly. But what differentiates the two isn't natural, it's often political. Ugliness, in opposition to natural beauty, has historically been used by reactionary political groups to discriminate against certain ethnicities, nationalities, or LGBTQ+ individuals. I'm not saying every person using the phrase natural beauty is a reactionary. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's important to make sure that when we use that phrase, we know what we're referring to and what we're not referring to. If natural beauty means wrinkles, dark circles, pigmentation, funky noses, small lips, etc., then fine. But even with that, I'm not sure the term natural beauty truly captures that. As Despentes explains in her essay, being ugly isn't just a physical reality. It's also a statement that what's ugly for some is empowering for others. If being ugly means not complying with gender norms, including the pressures put on women to look young, beautiful, and innocent forever, then why not let others call you ugly and know that your worth isn't determined by that? I mean, at this stage, only a small portion of people can be put in the natural beauty category. According to our experts, only very few female celebrities pass the plastic surgery test. Those who fail enter the ugly category. From the perspective of the so-called naturally beautiful, beauty is narrow, it's expensive, and frankly unachievable. But from the perspective of those society calls ugly, beauty can be performative, fun, artistic, expensive in the sense that it expands, it doesn't restrict into specific norms. I'm thinking, for example, of how the queer community, often mocked by society as ugly or unnatural, appropriates the beauty industry, the makeup, the plastic surgery, the cosmetic procedures for their own needs in ways that can follow gendered norms or disrupt them completely. During my research, I came across this movie, Death Becomes Her, starring Meryl Streep, interestingly. It's the story of a vain actress and her rival who are seeing their careers plummet as they age. So they drink a magic potion for eternal youth, then spend the rest of the movie hilariously trying to kill each other without being able to die. They are considered dead because the potion stops aging and makes them unkillable. The movie actually did not perform super well when it came out, but it slowly gained popularity among queer communities. Vanity Fair explains that the queer afterlife of this movie can be explained by the acknowledgement of how absurdly destructive and performative beauty is, but that the absurdity can be a source of fun and empowerment for some. Drag Race Season 5 winner Jinx Monsoon says that the movie is, quote, so campy and over the top that it's like, how could this not have been made for drag queens? Ultimately, I want to believe that the appeal of videos about celebrities' cosmetic procedures might be similar to that of Death Becomes Her. As we'll see in the next part, we love the performance of the over-the-top nature of plastic surgery. We look for tips like the earlobes to uncover who's faking it and who isn't. It's voyeurism, but it's also entertainment. 'entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the uncommon, the supernatural. 'Entertainment. We are drawn to the In one of his videos, Dr. Amir Karam shows the anti-aging morning routine of his wife.
What are some longevity habits that we can do daily to age gracefully, to have the best energy, the vitality, and ultimately best quality of life and happiness?
I assume Neda used to be a stay-at-home mother and is currently not working, and I make this assumption because she has a very long morning routine which doesn't seem compatible with a regular job, but I could be wrong. So in this anti-aging routine, Neda explains that she starts the day early and gets out of the house at 7:30 for a 90-minute walk. During that walk, she sometimes wears a mask covering her face and neck to protect herself from the sun. I'm not judging anyone wearing a face-covering piece of clothing. What I find interesting here, though, is that the mask is presented as something she probably wouldn't do all day long, but that she's willing to do for a short amount of time, every day, for long-term benefits.
She could care less how she looks. She cares that her skin is being protected.
On top of that, Neda has a very strict diet and nutrition routine, and she manages her time very specifically. It's not just about the products and the skincare. She shows that anti-aging is a lifestyle. And that reminds me of someone who's gained a lot of popularity on social media in recent years. That someone is Brian Johnson. He's also an anti-aging guru, but his content is geared towards men. Lily Alexander made a brilliant video essay on him and his movement, the Don't Die movement. Now, the Don't Die movement is Brian Johnson's project to live for as long as possible, testing all the science on anti-aging to live forever. In her video essay, Lily argues that Brian's image, which has often been described as non-human, almost alien, is part of the marketing of this Don't Die project, something that is positioned as beyond humanity. Now, it's interesting to think about this in the context of our conversation on plastic surgery. In fact, the face of plastic surgery in the West, the Kardashian family, has connections with Brian Johnson. They have reportedly attended at least one of his Don't Die event. Kim Kardashian also said in an interview that she wants to date a longevity scientist to know all the anti-aging secrets. The procedures she posts on social media remind me of what Brian Johnson does when he films the new science he's been testing. The Kardashians are often seen as pioneers in cosmetic procedures and plastic surgery. They work with the best practitioners in the industry and set trends. I mean, look at how people, including our plastic surgeon influencers, talked about Kris Jenner's new face.
We need to talk about Kris Jenner's new face because the change from last year to now is very noticeable. If we look at Kris's face from last year, mainly in the lower face we can see jowling and laxity around the neck area.
It felt like one of those new iPhone reveals.
iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. What we want to do is make a leapfrog product that is way smarter than any mobile device has ever been.
You see, the discussion wasn't about whether she had done something to her face. That was obvious. The discussion was which doctor was behind this masterpiece. Who's the visionary behind this? Celebrities aren't hiding what sort of procedures they go through anymore. Instead, they brag about the quality of the work done or make fun of it.
Do you have fake lashes on? I'm just kidding. Are those her teeth? Actually, yes, but yours, mine are real. Never had a veneer, baby.
Oh, I love myself. Noses are real.
Oh, yep, God, your noses are real.
The noses are probably the only thing on my face that's real.
They, like Brian Johnson, have become vehicles for the booming anti-aging industry. How far can it go? How good can it get? It can be entertaining for us to look at those evolutions, but ultimately we're kept out of these trends. The cost of these procedures means that the vast majority of people just cannot afford them.
Doctors now are charging for a deep plane facelift, $150,000 plus sometimes.
I was going to ask you, how much do you think Kris Jenner's facelift cost?
Probably about $150,000.
Which is nothing to her.
Like trips above the earth or sentient AI, anti-aging procedures almost have a futuristic, supernatural appeal to them that serves as a basis for marketing. What I mean by this is that AI, the beauty industry, health industries, they use the same language of science and the supernatural to get people's attention and drive investment. Brian Johnson is just another tech bro. Kim Kardashian is very close to those people too. They use fancy scientific terms and conduct flashy, almost supernatural anti-aging experiments to make you believe in their vision. They test new procedures and techniques that feel like they were taken out of a sci-fi novel.
This is Kim getting topical anesthetic placed onto her skin in order to numb it for a treatment. These are skin tightening treatments like soft wave NL therapy, injections like Botox and fillers, and radiofrequency microneedling treatments. Two treatments that are performed there but not here in the United States are Regeron injections or salmon DNA and stem cell treatments. And why is she going all the way to Korea for these treatments anyway when I thought all she needed was her Skims collagen-infused face wrap?
The goal for them is to establish themselves as visionaries, as experts in their industry, to get people to invest in them and to get you to buy their products. Ultimately, celebrities and tech bros know that the vast majority of their followers cannot afford the procedures they recommend. However, that attention can be redirected towards affordable products, which more often than not aren't that revolutionary in any way. Take our plastic surgeon creators, for example. Many of them have their own product lines, mostly skincare. According to my calculations, most of the people I've shown in this video, most of the experts I've shown, could potentially make more money out of the sales of their anti-aging products than through typical operations that are often time-consuming and risky. In an interview on the Turning Point USA sponsored podcast, Apothecary, on that podcast, one of our experts, Dr. Tony Yoon, who has more than 1.7 million followers on Instagram, explained that a patient had died after an operation he had conducted. Ultimately, the death wasn't directly linked to the operation, but the operation might have accelerated it. That made Yoon realize that he didn't want to be the type of doctor who pushes procedures on patients who could be using products instead. And so he became an advocate of just waiting until it's really necessary, which kind of goes against what we described in the previous parts with the incentive to start early, preventive work.
Preventative Botox in your 20s even a real thing, or is that another marketing gimmick?
I think that's a marketing gimmick.
I was duped!
Yoon therefore has a line of products to help women delay the effects of aging and by extension the need for procedures. With his following, I assume that he would be in the category of practitioners who make more money selling products than doing operations, but it's just an hypothesis, it's not confirmed. Similarly, someone like Dr. Amir gets a significant amount of views on videos explaining which products and routines promote anti-aging. So these are videos that tend to target people who can't afford procedures. He gives a lot of practical advice, some of which I found very helpful. And once he gained our trust, including my trust, he introduces his own products and explains that his wife and others have been using them and seen great results. He often forgets though to remind his audience that the people shown on screen have also had a facelift. His wife had a facelift. In the comment section of one of those videos, someone said, quote, "I actually believe that if every woman had enough sleep every night, could afford to buy and consume fresh produce and balanced diet, opportunity to reduce stress load, kids, work, finance, that would significantly slow aging. It's not necessarily about costly beauty procedures." I agree with that. Most of the people running the beauty industry and perpetuating unachievable standards do so from a comfortable position most of us cannot enjoy. I agree that if we lived in a society in which resources were shared between everyone, in which our basic needs were covered, our access to leisure time was guaranteed, and our environments weren't polluted, we'd age less rapidly. However, I still believe that the desire to resist aging should be questioned too. Our society tells us that aging, especially aging as a woman, is the worst thing that can happen to you. With age, you become less desirable to the eyes of patriarchy, and you become less functional to the eyes of capitalism. Old women are burdens from these perspectives. I'm not going to pretend that those pressures don't affect me, it's not true, but I would say that over the years have felt increasingly more comfortable with aging, and part of it is due to the fact that I value intellectual growth over everything. So I view getting older as getting smarter, more knowledgeable. I'm always looking for more things to learn, new videos to watch, new books to read. I would say I don't particularly look up to women who embrace the science of aging. I rather look up to women who write, think, create, perform, no matter their age, but I see a correlation between time and the depth of what they produce. I aspire to reach such depth in the work that I do and my opinions, and I encourage you to do the same. So yeah, that was my first video of the year. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you enjoy the content, if you find it valuable, you can support us on Patreon. We have a community of lifelong learners over there, so if this message resonates with you, you're very welcome. I'll put a link in the description box. Actually, it is time to thank my patrons for their support, and a special thank to top tier patrons, Jose Bailey, Nofol Shamari, Fred, Hong Xing Wan, Paul Louis Agenot, Patrick Button, Jeff Lee, Yilan, Taya Matin, Nick, Alina, Brandon, Jem Siddle, Ujwal, Patrick, Boris, Ria, Koriji, Tristan, Christopher, Ian, Donage, Alex, Manuel, and Christopher France. And thank you to the other ones who prefer to stay anonymous. That's it for me. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you very, very soon. Salut! Wait, one sec.